Treat yourself to a restorative woodland stroll and the aromatherapy of the trees of the wilderness by experiencing forest bathing. But what is forest bathing? It's a place where you enjoy sensory immersion invitations, where you have an opportunity to breathe in the stillness of the woods, welcoming you into a deeper relationship with the natural world, yourself, and with your inner nature. Benefits from forest bathing include boosting the immune system, reducing stress, increasing creativity, and improved spiritual well-being. We will enjoy the forest together and close with a lovely Japanese tea. Be sure to pack appropriate things, such as rain gear, either in a small mini umbrella or a reliable poncho. Also, a sit-upon, should you find a place to sit that is a little damp. You also definitely want to have a first aid kit of some type, especially with an ace bandage in case of foot injuries. Some bandanas are always a must when you're out in the woods for sweat purposes or for any other injuries. Insect repellent, along with a watch, something to keep up with your time. Be sure that you include these, and also rest assured that if you are doing a forest bathing with a group, that your group leader will be well stocked in these items and more. Once you've completed packing your safety items, you may want to include a couple of personal items as well. Think about a journal with your writing utensils, possibly some inspirational words, maybe in poetry like by Mary Oliver, or meditational readings by John Muir. Heartstones are always a lovely thing to have with you if you're on the trail. It's nice to be holding something from nature, and then you might perhaps want a little bit of music to join the sounds of the forest, such as ocarinas or flutes. To begin your forest bathing adventure, it is best to set an intention for the duration of the walk. Take a few moments to consider how you would like to spend this time in the woods. Then, using 3 yoga sun breaths, set that intention. I'll count now for you. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold for 1. Release through the mouth for 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pause. Second, inhale, 2, 3, hold, release, 2, 3, 4, pause. One more time, inhale, 2, 3, and hold, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now you may return to regular breathing. Whether you're forest bathing alone or with a guide, it's always good to know a little bit about the land where you're walking. We call this in forest bathing the orientation, which is also followed up from the guide by telling you what to expect on the walk. Here's a short example of the orientation I use for Montreat, North Carolina. We are standing on a 5-acre preserve created in 1999, nestled here in the forest of Montreat. We will be strolling around the pond on the perimeter path, plus walking a short section of the Montreat wilderness called the Sanctuary Trail. This area has also been used as a prayer path for local retreats and includes a covered labyrinth. The area is known for its blueberries on the wooded slopes, wildflowers in spring and summer, and wildlife such as hellbender salamanders in the creek and pond, while the woods are filled with white-tailed deer, rabbits, foxes, owls, and wrens. Once you feel comfortable with the lay of the land, find an isolated spot where you can spend just a moment in what we call a sensory awareness meditation. Sitting comfortably, we begin with the breath. You're welcome to follow the pattern I've given before, where you inhale for 3, hold for 1, exhale for 4, and pause for 1 again. Then move into regular breathing. Once you've done that, then you want to continue with a body scan, just simply moving visually from head to toe to see if there are any places of discomfort. If you find any stress or tension that can be released by simple breathing or stretching, please do so before you continue. After that, then you would look for contact points where you are sitting straight with your legs. You can flex and point them. Feel the surrounding support of the earth below you. Then after that, you want to simply quickly review 4 of the 5 primary senses. Think about touch, maybe letting some of the soil or leaves around you sift through your fingertips. Next, move into sounds. Imagine what you might hear. Are there birds in the forest, or for us sometimes turtles plopping in a pond? What do you hear? Next, you want to smell the forest. Are you smelling the phyton sides with that clear, subtle citrus smell, or perhaps simply the woodland freshness about you? After that, you want to conclude with seeing. Look around you with a subtle gaze, with a clear and focused gaze, whatever feels best to you. Take in what you see, and then take a moment to simply open your heart. By using all these senses, you can rub your palms together, igniting that collection of awareness, and then place your right palm over your heart, feeling the regularity of that beat, and recognize that you are now part of the chorus of the forest. Now that you've opened your senses to the forest, it's time to move around a little bit. Stand up, gather your things, and treat yourself to a short walk in the woods. This usually begins for about 10 or 15 minutes in a group, but if you need, look around, enjoy. Now that you're on the walk, find a place where you can be alone for a few moments and experience some of these sensory immersion pieces, which we call invitations in the forest bathing community. Here is one that I created called Living with the Wind. Find a forested clearing, stepping into the center. It might be even a spot along the path. Stand straight with your arms down by your side, then extend them out as if embracing the wind. How does it feel against your face, your skin? If there is an actual breeze, notice how it moves through the forest. Stand for several minutes, then allow any body movements as intuitive responses, such as swaying, sidestepping, even dancing. How does this feel? If it were possible, would you trust the wind enough to fly? Enjoy the freedom when the wind simply says, "Come play." Often we do 2 to 3 invitations, which then leads us into what we call the sit spot, where you find a tree which you're attracted to, one that calls to you. You find it, you sit beneath its branches, you touch the bark, you consider the oak, the trunk, the branches, the canopy, and you get to know this tree. I was reminded of one, a childhood tree, called Tree of Wonders. And here's a poem I wrote in response to that. Dove gray limbs embrace my limbs, bark to flesh, sensing my humanity, cradling my childhood dreams. Upper regions cry, adventure awaits. So I climb, met by foreign lands, filled with curious damsels, poet dragons, singing minstrels, handsome knights, and mysterious woods. I fled into their stories, leaving my earthly worries adrift for another day. I hid inside the boughs of my tree, my protector. Leafy screens of invisibility, shielded by May greens, September reds, October yellows, and December snows. Here I disappear down a mapled passageway, through a dappled portal to imaginary lands. Perhaps you feel this way as well, even when you sit beneath a tree. Look now to In the Quiet. To conclude our forest bathing journey, we follow the Japanese example by having a Japanese afternoon tea. You may bring this ready-made, hot or cold, with pre-made teas, or even use some herbal blends. I prefer lemongrass with orange peels or a red rooibos with rose petals. Yum! Another thing you can do is bring some snacks for yourself. In a group, you may find fruit, nuts, crackers, anything that will give you just a little bit of rejuvenation. This is the closing that we do now for our forest bathing journey, and we wish you all happy walks in the woods.